Hello.
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 Sir, good morning.
Sir, Professor Mechanical from Vardhaman Engineering College. So, I welcome Dr. P. Srinivasa sir today.
Sir, just a second. Sir, good morning.
Welcome you and please take over the session.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Yeah.
Is my slide visible, sir?
Yeah, and it's visible, sir.
And I think it is also readable.
Readable, yes.
Yeah. Is it like is it necessary to make it full screen?
As of now, the look whatever you are having, it's fine.
You please put
Fine,
it in
sir.
the
Thank
slideshow.
you.
Better you can put a slideshow, sir.
Slide, yeah. If I put it like that, whole control, I don't know. I use Mac. Okay, is that fine?
It's fine.
Yeah, thank you. So, I'm sorry, I was a little, I don't use Zoom. So we use the Microsoft Teams. I'm not used to it.
Okay.
So a bit delayed, sir. I have to install the app and later start doing all this.
No issue, sir. No issue.
Thank you, sir. Shall we start the talk, sir?
Yeah, you can start, sir. Welcome you once again, sir. Please take the session.
Thank you. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thank you, the organizers. I thank organizers of FDP at IIRE, and also the AICTE for sponsoring and giving us a chance to interact and discuss on certain pedagogy related topics for the present scenario. The topic what Professor Madhu Bala Madam discussed with me was like how the inquiry-based learning happens in engineering education, and how transformation or transition takes place during this new situations, online education situations. So, but keeping that in view, I prepared few slides, and I also openly, put it to all of you. The matter that I am projecting or presenting in the slide is taken from various resources, internationally published resources, and a few magazines and journals. And I cite them at the end of the talk. So I think that's how my slides were prepared, and I have no contribution out of my own in the following slides. But however, the kind of opportunity to interact with you, I may have bit of flexibility to refer to various other documents to have a briefer discussion on the points that we generally present. So this is my topic, learning engineering in whole new light, for today's morning session. And I just wanted to give a brief note on what am I going to talk for the next 2 hours. First point is I will be discussing, or I will be talking on new normal education in India, particularly engineering education in India, in a new normal. And this is a bit of buzzword nowadays. Everybody keep saying that it's a new normal. All platforms having a new normal, and that will be my initial talk. And I will be taking a break of a few minutes, and then I will be switching over to the following topic, that how inquiry-based learning can happen, and in a manner of Bloom's taxonomy, how the inquiry-based learning can make the difference in engineering education, and how that can be assessed also. So this is how briefly I would like to discuss for these 2 hours. There you can see as kind of a statement, when situations lack analogies to the past, it's hard to envision the future. And before anything else, nowadays it has become a habit to all of us, and we are all in teaching. I know my faculty attending FDPs here and there, and they get login into their mobile phones, and they keep doing some other task assigned, maybe official duties. But here the thing is, I do also consider the same, like it may go like that, but still, if you find anything, any point bit interesting, I encourage you to write back to me or to the organizers, and we may have, because new educational policies getting a final shape, we can also contribute a little bit to of our share in that. When situations lack analogies to the past, it's hard to envision the future. This statement sounds a bit simple, but there is a tremendous tremendously deep meaning in that. When what is experience? Actually, experience is what we have in the past is experience, and based on experience, we face these situations. Situations come to us, and we make analogies with the past experience, and that's how we see the future or face the challenges. When this is lacking, when there are no analogies found in the past, then it will be hard to see the future, envision the future. There, that's the meaning. And based on that, let's go and have a brief note on the present situation. There are certain facts. I'm presenting few facts to you, maybe all of you are well aware of. The facts are something like this: 1.5 billion students around the world, according to UNESCO, they are engaged in remote learning at the height of COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020. So during the March 2020, when there was a first hit of corona virus across the world, there was an estimation by UNESCO, and the figures are given by UNESCO, saying that 1.5 billion students around the world, according to that, they were engaged in remote learning. So the virus COVID-19 has instantly forced 1.6 billion students and teachers online. That's how it is forcing people to go online. Effectively, more than 90% of total enrolled learners and educators around the world have been thrown into deep end of the online learning pool and told sink or swim. This is the situation, and it's not a small number. If you think it's a small number, it's not. It's 1.6 billion students and teachers, and effectively it is more than 90% of total enrolled learners and educators. And it is not across a particular country or a particular region of the world, but it is throughout the world. And this has, given you, me, everybody, kind of a challenge. Either we have to swim or sink. In that particular scenario, as a common normal student or an educator, we believe most will get hang of it. Maybe they like it and will no longer be confined to the shore. And effectively, the genie is not going back into the bottle. Here, I mean, this will not come back, and digital learning has come of the age. Now, this is the time. You cannot put the online education back in the bottle, and face-to-face kind of teaching learning will come, maybe in a due course of time, is of no hope. We can never, guess that the kind of a teaching earlier, before, the virus hit the nations, and after it is, the scenario will not be the same. It will not be the same. No chance at all. That's what is the facts given by Harvard Business Review. Now, some of these new learners, online learners, will sink. Some will crawl out of the pool and never go back. So this is possible, based on individuals' experience and individuals' capabilities, abilities. Things may sound like that. Some will crawl out of the pool and they will never go back. Now the situation is like this. We have a BC, which is like before coronavirus, and world transitioning to AD, that is after disease. This is, era of change. So we can make it like the kind of education or transition in the education is categorized like before coronavirus and after disease. So BC and AD. Excuse me. Excuse me. So there is no empirical evidence that says the classroom instruction benefits students. This is a daring statement, but it is a fact. There is no empirical evidence that says that the classroom instruction benefits students compared to alternatives from a learning achievement perspective. That's a daring statement, but that's how the facts indicate. The statistical analysis gives us a corroborative evidence about the kind of a classroom instructions that are happening, and maybe without face-to-face classroom instructions. I mean, there are alternative methods. If you compare those two variations, then there is no particular evidence that one is comparatively better or prospective than the other. So it is finding from a source, which Center for Study of Learning and Performance at Concordia University, USA. They say that it is statistically studied, and they made a statement. Now, now we move from BC to AD. Now, more than 1.7 billion students have been affected, representing to about 91% of all students in the world. And it is unsurprising demand for the online education. And obviously that has skyrocketed to surprisingly new heights. And in the span of 30 days, if you see during one particular case study, that in the span of 30 days during pandemic, there were about 10.3 million enrollments on Coursera. If you see the percentage of growth rate, like how much the growth rate percentage wise, it is 644% if you compare with the previous year during that same particular time. I mean, particular 30 days time. So this is online. Now, this is data which I picked up from the same university resource, that if you see the Coursera, world's largest online learning platform, if you see before coronavirus, that is BC, 30 universities piloted the Coursera for campus packages for the transition. If you see, there is a transformation. Universities after disease, if you see, there is a tremendous rise in either unique institutions or programs launched, active students wise, course enrollments wise, learning hours wise. In all facets of this Coursera learning, there is a huge jump. Then if you see, okay, why only a particular kind of or a selective organization data? If you compare, this is a survey done by Google itself, which statistical evidence that if you see from March to April, I mean this particular tenure, how the stability or the rise and fall of particular online tools, usage of online tools, or registering the online education platforms, how the trend is. If you can see, almost the span of the kind of March, during March 4th to 11th, if you see, this span was very, very wide. If you see it in the month of April, by the month of April 1st, then almost all sections, either you take, the listed institutions, for maybe a very popular Khan Academy, Adventure Academy, to Google Classrooms, everything has narrowed down to a particular value, a particular very narrow bandwidth. That means everybody is getting, I mean, all organizations, all institutions are reaching to a particular a particular level of enrollments. They are all improving. One is neither going down nor the other is catching up. It is like all including, this is about the world wide online online educational services. But even if you consider the localized European, Asian, or for that matter, US, confined to US institutions also, that the trend more or less seems to be the same. So coronavirus has proved, has provided an enormous catalyst to accelerate the opportunity of the future to today. One example is in higher education, where in BC, only 30% students were taking online courses. And can you guess how much is the transformation, or how much is the raise in particular section like higher education section? How much will be the rise? If you can't believe that in AD, it is essentially 100% of students are now taking their courses online. Just see the jump, like 30% of students were taking courses online before coronavirus, and it is coming to 100% of the students who are now taking their courses online. So at the, just a second. I'm sorry, my laptop was going down. Yeah. If we see that it is in, during the pandemic times, the registrations, online courses registrations, and education through online has raised to the unexpected levels, and moreover, this uh, kind of phenomena is going to stay back. It will not, it will not drop again. This is going to stay back. And now this gives us a bit, challenging expectations. Let's see. So the major changes in the way we teach. See, my previous slide is going to is actually talking about how this kind of unexpected shift happened and what is going to have. And this is the point where we need to think of about new normal. Everybody nowadays keeps saying, after coronavirus, there is a new normal set. It will not be the previous one again. If it is, it's not like on the same, on the same benchmark we decide the things. Now the total change in the benchmark itself, and that leads to greater, changes that has to come either in whatever form. We should always welcome it. Major changes in the way we teach students is going to be like, we have now the flexibility also there are three dimensions to the situation now. The first one is about the teachers, how teachers are having flexibility in designing the course, in offering the course and teaching or implementing it, and also assessing that. Whereas coming to the other side of the Yeah, there is some problem with the network, right? Excuse me. Am I audible?
Yes, Professor, you are audible.
Yeah, I'm audible, but I'm unable to project my slides. Could you see my slides or no?
No, Professor, we cannot.
Yeah, that's a problem. I request the organizer to give an access to share the presentation. I request the organizer to give the permission to share the presentation. Uh, someone from the organizers.
Professor, we have made a request in
I'm
the...
audible, but the thing is PPT sharing is not
Yes,
enabled.
Professor, I have put a message in the WhatsApp group. Let us wait.
Fine.
No
Thank you,
other
madam.
group.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, meanwhile, let us talk about the facts of online education. Are there any queries to me? Madam, anybody from the organizers?
Professor, I contacted one of the organizer. He says that he will come to our rescue. In some
Okay,
time.
okay, fine, fine.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you can talk, you can discuss if you have any queries or you have any opinion.
No, Professor, I don't have any doubts as of now. Maybe you can continue discussion, Professor. We will join, Professor. We'll also, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Great, great, madam. Thank you. Hello.
Professor, am I audible?
Yes, madam. Yes, I can hear
Professor,
you.
what is your view on this new normal on our education, and then this news about the second wave coming in in India?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yes,
Let me tell you something. As
yes,
you may be well aware of, on now in all sectors, not only in the education sector,
yes,
everywhere we have a new normal. I
yeah,
mean, we are not going to, back to the same, plateau where we were previously.
yes,
Now, in coming to the particularly teaching and education sector also,
yes,
this is setting a new normal again. I mean, now previous situations where we used to have F2F, face-to-face teaching learning. Now that
exactly.
will totally you know go to a new standards like 50% face-to-face and 50%
Yes, yes.
yeah, remote teaching kind of thing.
Mm,
So I think that will set now and again. We could hear from the last 3 days new corona wave,
yes,
and this may also uh, pull us into a lot more problems, and the challenges may even raise.
yes. In some ways, we have been accustomed to this new normal, and some things are working out good for us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But in
Correct,
some other thing, we are not that comfortable
correct,
enough.
correct. Right,
And
exactly correct, exactly right. What you say is right, 100% right.
so,
So yeah,
so how long do you think that this
this
situation
will.
will extend? And
Yeah, madam, I feel this will be there for another 1 year,
other one
easily.
year?
Yeah, yeah,
As educators, what is our role here? Can we do something so that the students
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah, 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 yeah.
get,
Definitely, in the I'm going to end up my talk with that.
okay, thank you.
Kindly, yeah, kindly
Yes,
follow that.
yes,
Right.
yes. Professor, now the slides are visible for
Yeah, yeah,
us.
yeah.
Yep,
Thank you,
yep.
madam.
Please continue.
Yeah. So the major changes in the way we teach students. What is clear is major changes are not like, suddenly we are immersed into online learning, teaching, and so on. But it is also challenge from the other side of the corner, like new technologies. Uh, Sometimes new technologies that increases the flexibility and also increases the complexity. Like it may be a boon or a bane, both. Sometimes it may be more uh, uh, beneficial and also a challenging aspect for the particularly tutors or the one who is teaching and or in the kind of aiding teaching of particularly graduate, undergraduate courses. How this technology is changing the way we teach and learn, leading to the emergence of new pedagogy as well. I mean, not only the technology, that as the technology comes and starts playing its role, the pedagogy also gets transformed. It will not be the same one, what we used to have before virus. So this has got its own methodology. Give me some. Yeah. It's methodology to be evolved with and to take on the challenges that may come in. So the changes in society, student expectations, technology were already, motivating the university and college faculty and instructors to rethink pedagogy and teaching. That's what I was telling. The techniques, teaching methods, teaching techniques previously were defined without certain facts that were not considered or maybe getting added after the COVID-19 has made remarkable changes in all the setup itself. So there the kind of psychological changes also, like we don't have face-to-face interaction and we can't have the eye-to-eye contact, then the things will be different. See, the same kind of talk, if I was if I was giving in a seminar hall or along with many of you sitting and having one-to-one kind of face-to-face interaction would be different scenario compared to the one where you are not visible, I am not visible, a kind of exchange of words not possible all the way, and there are intermittent problems surfacing depending on your side technology issues or my side technology issues. Many factors lead into this, and pedagogy now has to be remodeled. What I mean by rethinking is remodeling, and methods are to be evolved with. This is what I mean. I'm not saying that it's unable to do that. Maybe partly unable and partly able to do it, and rest of the things we have to start doing and come out with individual techniques or that can help the students or the readers or the educators, and more than that, inspire or get inspired by the new approaches. This is what very essential. So the transition to digital learning started with the rise of internet or 25 years ago and has ballooned to about, this is a kind of data that sometimes more interesting. And I thought of sharing it to you. Just have a look on this slide and maybe next slide, in which you will come to know what figurative changes have taken place, and this is going to have a kind of what kind of a larger impact it can deliver on the present situation of particularly uh, educating or in the education sector particularly. You just see the transition to the digital learning was not new. It was 25 years old, and it has market value of around $160 billion. And before Corona, it was projected to raise to $440 billion by the market by 2026. If you can see that, it is 440. Where is 160 billion market? Now, by 2026, it has to go to $440 billion. And this is quite common, growth rate. You can see that. It is an impressive growth rate of 16% compared to in the frame of reference. US e-commerce was about 2.1% overall retail sales in 2004. You just see that. In the year 2004, e-commerce, Amazon, we know that it is, was doing about 2.1% of the commerce. And it is in 2019, it is 11%. Now, if you see the digital learning scenario, the trend of it currently, it is 2.3%. That is about $160 billion of the overall education sector. So this is going to be, effective e-commerce trend. Now, we have originally thought digital learning would follow a similar projection and reach to 4.5% of growth rate, coming to $440 billion in education market by 26. But what happened due to this, coronavirus, we now believe digital learning will reach 11% instead of 4.5%. The growth rate will be 11%, and by 2026, it will be $1 trillion market, and with a growth rate of 30%, as expected by it is by one of the market survey by US education organization. So this is a huge transformation, and such a market where a lot of corporate corporate guys and maybe corporate sectors gets involved, and that will really throw a problem to the kind of a pedagogy that we already are used to, basically. So this is what an interesting turn, and has to look for an expert study on this, and we should definitely have an introspective approach and take corresponding methods or initiations to put ourselves into the particular educational market. If you see, if you see the e-commerce growth, the same what I was talking in 2004, it was you can simply see that by 2019, and compared to 2019 compared to 2026. If you see the second bar chart, BC versus AD, predictions of growth in digital learning, particularly before Corona and after disease, if you see, you can't even imagine that it is expected by 2026 about 4.5%. Now it is going to be 11%, is $1 trillion US dollars market. So this is a big game of, even commerce. Now the things are now put in a business perspective as well. So the pedagogy is going to hugely transform. We have to forget that, classroom chalk and talk kind of methodology has to go now. Now we have to totally do a thorough analysis on how this can be taken on and how best we can come out with new triggering techniques to impart knowledge to the student community in all aspects, either in subjects where we have a philosophical discussions, or maybe an experimental kind of experimental involved sciences, or either also in particularly subjects like computer science or mathematics. So all different spectrum of pedagogy has to now take a new look, and we have to have a key eye on that. This is what I gathered from an important resource. This is before coronavirus. The trend of classroom education and how it is after disease. 18 to 22 years old. Now, if you take on the other side of it, it is 18 to 80 years old. A kind of a lifelong learning, according to the Bloom's taxonomy. We have to encourage in a lifelong learning kind of thing. Now, this same trend, if you take classrooms, it's weapons of mass instruction. We have a lot of things now coming up in global market. We have a semester and trimesters, etc. Whereas here we have a continuous sessions. We used to have lectures, exams, etc. Now personalized learning with a kind of different assessment techniques and instruments. We have office hours. We never have any kind of office hours there now. Daytime classes, anytime, anywhere classes, segmented curriculum. Now it is no such thing. So a lot of changes happening, and it has already started working, and it has started proving well also. Excuse me. So classrooms will be both physical and online. The flipped classroom has the opportunity to make the teacher's role more akin to that of the coach. You have to excuse me for that. I prepare PPT some in other system, and it is in Mac, it is like overlapping. Kindly bear with me. In Mac, settings will be different. This is a technology challenge again. We have this kind of problem always. So now the online, offline learning modes allow more on-demand teaching and pave the way for data collection and optimization, resulting in more personalized learning opportunities. So increase in digital connectivity between students, teachers, and parents. It creates communication, keeps everyone accountable, and provides transparency for student achievements. And this is an interesting development. Peer-to-peer, we used to have a theoretical base of it. Like we used to think like how best we can have a peer-to-peer interactions and learning. Now it's happening. We have blogs, groups, charting places where students, peers learn. They teach, and teaching is the best way to learn. And one student teaches other, and that's how they just started doing it. And so this kind of thing, a trend, has shown, that is really good, and a new dimension in peer-to-peer learning is getting evolved. So there is a collaborative learning happening, and there is also a community-based platforms getting created. Like the other dimension, if you see, the other dimension, if you see, is an accelerated learning. There's something like a RoboED, is an advanced AI-based tutors. I think you heard of it. So artificial intelligence is coming, and it is playing the role of a tutor. It really kind of a challenge to a particular system of teaching learning, which can go very specialized. And also the scaling is not a problem. Scaling is low cost. You can simply scale it up and have the same thing going to expected levels. So personalized learning, student will be able to advance both in competency and kind of performance. The education that gets transformed like this will have definitely an impact on the kind of engineering education that is taking place now. Looking forward, with the number of students in higher education, it is about 207 million today to 414 million by 2030. All of this growth will be happening online. Imagine the growth you see. It is 207 million until now, let's say. Now 0 to 200 million, if you assume. From 200 to 400 million is almost doubling that in only about 10 years. That is 2020 to 2030. So 10 years span, double the student enrolling into education, and everything is going online. Is a big, a challenge, and this has to redefine certain aspects of how classroom teaching or online teaching has to. Pardon me, just a minute. Yeah. Online pedagogy will become normalized for virtually every college student in the world today. Universities will incorporate high production quality, highly engaging content to deliver a compelling and scalable online experience. I just read for you. I'm not just going to say something on this. Just I'm reading it for you. Just say, follow me. Online first pedagogy will become normalized for virtually every college student in the world today. And universities will incorporate high production quality, highly engaging content to deliver a compelling and scalable online experience. That is something like Hollywood meets Harvard. This kind of pedagogy is going to come where Hollywood meets Harvard. I mean, you can't simply ignore the kind of presentation. I mean, production quality. If I have a low bandwidth and half of my talk goes, in somewhere in the process of the signal, and you can't hear me, then what is the how many of the participants can be there in the talk? How many can continue themselves in the presentation? It's not simply possible. So the production quality or technology, sophisticated technology has to be there, and with a highly engaging content. The content what we as of now been doing has to be remodeled again. I mean, the content what we prepare for face-to-face classroom teaching is not actually going to fit into the new new mold and get accustomed and get executed. So that's not simply possible, and the content also should be redesigned, and it has to be redone. And the delivery of the content is also an very important aspect of it. And in simple words, see how the author puts it. And Hollywood meets Harvard. You need a content of Harvard, and you need to have a presentation or quality of your online teaching as a Hollywood movie. So this is what is an expectation, and you, me, and everybody is going to have this kind of a challenge. And moreover, this is going to be the bread and butter of next educators, and that has to be kept in mind. So the role of the institution will also change dramatically. That's only a simple statement. I would like to only focus on certain aspects, not about the institution. The change to the that how the new trend of kind of an online education happening is something like this. This is a more appropriate a word that I can find is like an university is like, see, if we have a kind of choice to select the particular audio or a music to be listened, what do we have? We have a choice we can choose the particular song or a particular music to listen, and we have an option to go by looking into the playlist, and we choose what is required for us or what is interesting for us. And also the depending on the artist, we may be interested in particular artist. Similar is the trend here. The change is going to be like that. Now students are going to be like curators. Students will one day be able to curate an undergraduate playlist. Now we have to give the playlist for an undergraduate student, and he will be like a curate, and rather giving him a syllabus book and guidelines to write the exams and all other things. It is a different story now. We have a label which is a university, and we have a kind of an artist is a professor, and student will be able to pick and choose from every academic course and instructor available in the world. No, it's not particularly a particular organization, particular university or institution. It is a global open resource, global open resource in which a student will come and choose from the playlist, and he will do that particular. And anyhow, when I started the presentation, I told that there is no proof that classroom education is going to transform a student. So the accreditation from a single university itself won't be as important as the individual instructor and course content. The accreditation, all these things will go and change whole scenario now. The tectonic shifts in society and business occur when unexpected events force widespread experimentation around the new idea. This is an important statement. Unexpected events like coronavirus usually force experimentation around the new idea. So during World War II, for instance, if you take American men went for the war, and women proved to be they could do men's work, and they did it, and women never looked back after that. Similarly, if you take Y2K problem, which was challenging at the time, demanded the extensive use of Indian software engineers, leading to the tripling of the employment-based visas granted by US. Fixing that bug enabled Indian engineers to establish their credentials and capitulated them as world leaders in addressing technology problems. And as you know, this is a fact that Alphabet, Microsoft, IBM, Adobe are all headed by Indian-born engineers today. So the COVID-19 pandemic is forcing global experimentation with remote teaching. There are many indicators that this crisis is going to transform many aspects of life. Education could be one of them if remote teaching proves to be success. At this crisis-driven experiment launches, we should be collecting data and paying attention to the following 3 questions about higher education, teaching model, and accessibility of quality education. College education. Here I'm going to give or present 3 such questions.
They have to improve. Name good in name first time like that conversion.
I hear you.
One by one need to sign in. गैप में मिलकर डेट लगाना रास्ता टाइम.
So the lectures that require little personalization or human interaction can be recorded as multimedia presentations to be watched by students at their own pace and place. Such commoditization parts of the curriculum can be easily delivered by a non-university instructor on Coursera. That's an important message to all of us. lectures that require little personalization or human interaction can be recorded as multimedia presentations and to be watched by students at their own pace and place. It is like commoditization of the curriculum, and it can easily be delivered by non-university instructor on Coursera. We need not be instructor. I mean, we need not be a tutor, and we need not be that person like having such education or a background of teaching. For such courses, technology transform can deliver the content to very large audience at low cost without sacrificing one of the most important benefits of face-to-face classroom. So this is a point which we need to think. This is an important question. Like, for example, we have a Pythagorean theorem. No, we need not have an expert to deliver it, and a non-university instructor can prepare a high quality multimedia presentation of a Pythagorean theorem, and he can deliver it as a commodity to the student. And when such commodity, a curriculum which is commoditized, can really go and reach the audience and at a low cost, and that will be challenge by freeing the resources from courses that can be commoditized. Colleges would have more resources to commit to research-based teaching, personalized problem solving, and mentorship. So this is another interesting challenge which we can have. Here, the students would also have more resources at their disposal too, because they won't have, they need not reside and devote 4 years full-time course and take a BTech or UG degree and seek for a job. They would have an opportunity to have a commoditized courses online at their convenience, and that is at a much cheaper cost. And they can be, if there is accreditation is not a problem, and such courses can offer him a job, then that will be really an interesting transformation or change in online education. And the precious time spent in a campus for electives, group assignments, etc., is of something cannot be of any use. But on the other side, if you see, the project works are laboratory based experimentations or science experimentations particularly need to have a new defined bottom line to what can be done remotely, and how this kind of online laboratory experimentation system is coming should be given a thorough thought process. So in addition to that, the campuses can facilitate social networking, field-based projects, global learning expeditions, and that require F2F engagements, that is face-to-face engagements. This is a hybrid model of education that has the potential to make college education more affordable to everybody. So this was the one of the participants was asking about. So now there won't be F2F model. There will be a hybrid kind of model, and we need to prepare design the content and also the curriculum in accordance with that. With the current experimentation or kind of experiment, and students, professors, and university administrators must keep a record of which classes are benefiting from being taught remotely and which one are not going so well. We are doing that. We are now calling students offline to perform experiments. Some some professors are now preferring offline than online, so that there in certain courses, in certain classes, they don't feel like the students are getting benefited. So in that case, this is a brainstorming kind of practice which all all the educators should do, and there should be a kind of a record which classes can go online or remotely be taught or offline, or we need an experimentation to be done. So they should maintain that record, so that the when the time of online education totally transforms, certain courses and certain uh, uh, usual system of offline teaching can also be beneficial to certain particular selected subjects and courses. And another thing is, we should have we all maintain chat rooms that facilitate anonymized discussions about the technology issues, course designs, course delivery, evaluation methods, etc. So if there is no feedback system, then kind of discussions, possible discussions, then there won't be any suggestions to get to modify and do remedial changes, things in the curriculum. These data points can inform future decisions about when and why some classes should be taught remotely, which one should remain on the campus, and which within the campus classes should be supplemented or complemented by technology. So we have no doubt that the digital technologies, either mobile, cloud, AI, etc., can be deployed at scale. Yet we also know that much more needs to be done. That's point number one. On the hardware side, bandwidth capacity, digital inequalities need addressing. The F2F setting levels a lot of differences, because students in the same class get the same delivery. Online education, however, amplifies the digital divide. Rich students have the latest laptops, better bandwidths, more stable Wi-Fi connections, and more sophisticated audiovisual gadgets. But whereas the other side, the students may not have such resources, then they will not be in a position, they will not be delivered the same content as the educator may be delivering. They will not be getting the benefit of it. So in addition to that, online courses require educational support on the ground, instructional designers, trainers, and coaches to ensure student learning and course completion. Digital divide also exists among universities. Some top universities, private universities, have a better IT infrastructure and higher IT support staff ratio compared to the faculty in a public universities, or some universities not so blessed by funds, for example. And in such cases, the online resources require educational support from the other aspects of the other elements of the society, because they are not going to have the same impact. What training efforts are required for faculty and students to facilitate changes in the mindsets and behavior? These are the questions. I just end a point there, and I think universities have the data, should have the data to ascertain optimal percentage of face-to-face, real-time, virtual, and asynchronous virtual. These are the three components of online teaching. Teaching basically: face-to-face, real-time virtual, and asynchronous virtual. The hybrid model will simultaneously preserve the benefit of residential experience while lowering the cost of the education. So looking forward, with the number of students in higher education doubling from 207 million today to 414 by 2030, all of this growth will be happening online. And this will, I mean, more than 50% of workforce is going to need to be reskilled in the next 3 years. Learning will become even more continuous and lifelong. No longer will you fill up your knowledge tank in 25 years and take off. You will continuously be refueling over the courses for your lifetime. So digitization of the live learning experiences, that is conferences, seminars, and night classes, etc. The degree is no longer the sole ticket for career opportunity, and is augmented by other ways to demonstrate capability such as with the certificate, badges, and other knowledge currency. So 7 key elements of new pedagogy. And with these 7 points, I will stop my lecture. One is blended learning. The second one is collaborative approaches in knowledge construction, building communities of inquiry and practice, use of multimedia and open educational resources, increased student control, choice, and independence, anywhere, anytime, any size learning, new forms of assessment, self-directed and non-formal online learning. These are the things which are going to transform 7 key elements which are going to transform new pedagogy. So with this little break, I would come back maybe in a minute with a second part of the talk, and I will keep it very short and precise to close my talk. Yeah, welcome back. And this is my gist of the talk. The task is to align the pedagogy, that is aligning the pedagogy, subject matter, assessment, and student access. Am I audible?
Yes, Professor, you're audible.
Yeah, student access and success with appropriate technologies, software, and online strategies is the ongoing challenge of online teaching and learning. I mean, the pedagogy has to get aligned with this kind of changes, and that's the takeaway of previous slides. Now, next slide is there is a saying, I mean, a word which I pick up from Kofi Annan. He was the UN Governor General for quite a long time, long back. When you leave one home for another, you will always lessons to be learned. There will be always lessons to be learned. This is a word actually given by Kofi Annan when delivering a talk at Harvard. Uh, uh, this is going to be, a kind of a thought-provoking word. When we change the scenarios, when we have a move from one home to another, there is always, a lesson to learn. The most important discovery made by scientists, or science itself, is a word given by Jacob Bronowski, a mathematician and philosopher. Why is all of a sudden this particular statement? Is because let us have a reconnaissance of the profession of science teaching and also a place to begin the learning to teach process. Now we are learning to teach. Again, I mean, we have been teaching, but now the things have changed. And in the event of reconnaissance, we have to learn again to teach. So the aim of the university education should be to turn out true servants of the people who should live and die for the country's freedom. A saying by Mahatma Gandhi. If you take this cone of experience, we call it Dale's cone of experience, people are able to, this is learning outcome, people generally remember. So 10% of what they read, they remember. 20% of what they hear is what they really remember. 30% of what they see, they remember. 50% of what they hear and see. And 70% of what they say and write. 90% of what they say as they do a thing. I mean, that's what they practice. This is how the, we call it, cone of experience, Dale's cone of experience. And based on this, Bloom's taxonomy was defined, and people are able to, these are the learning outcomes like we are all aware of: define, describe, list, etc., etc.
Put your camera before you.
Yeah. For example, if you take how evaluating a particular student, once we have a kind of regular teaching learning process, we have to check for prior knowledge and key concepts, essential questions and keywords, library, skills, internet searching, etc. All these are the new terms that are coming up due to online education. Social action, sustainability, evaluation, critique, analyzing, organizing into organizing the information found to questions and all. So this kind of assessment is going to. Now the input stage is, for example, thinking skills. We have to incorporate into. While I mean the major challenge is in the online education is like, what is that we are teaching, what is that the student is able to understand, and how this inquiry based learning can take place is what I would like to discuss. So the strategy is to motivate. First and foremost strategy is to motivate. I mean how that can be is by visits. Excuse me. Chappu. Right. Am I crossing my time?
1207. 1207. What happened? అంత క్రాస్ గా కూర్చున్నారేంటి? చాలా క్రాస్ గా కూర్చున్నారు. ఇంకా దూరం పెట్టి మీకు చుట్టుపక్కల కూడా కనిపించేలా పెట్టండి కెమెరా చూడండి. అలా కాదమ్మా, అడిగినప్పుడు చూపించడం కాదు. ద కెమెరా ఫార్వర్డ్. మీకు వెనక్కి చాయిస్ లేదు కదా, కెమెరాని ముందుకు జరపండి. అన్మ్యూట్ చేసి పెట్టండి.
So, for example, disruptions and lessons that we learn. Am I crossing my time?
అన్మ్యూట్ మ్యూట్ ఉంది, ఇప్పుడు అన్మ్యూట్ చేసి ఉంచు. అలానే ఉంచు.
Okay.
ఏం చూస్తున్నారు? క్వశ్చన్ 1207. ఏం చూస్తున్నారు మీరు? క్వశ్చన్ ఏం చూస్తున్నారు? డోంట్ గెట్ డిస్టర్బ్. ఓకే,
Is it okay? I mean, I'm in time or no? Are you able to see these slides?
Yes, Professor, we can see your slides.
Fine. I think there is a disturbance here. Yeah, kind of. I will wind it off by 12, no problem. I just wanted to have disruptions and lessons that we need to learn. Multiple disruptions. This is a handy resource which I have gathered from one of the important online education site challenges in online education and common lessons and opportunities. So technological disruptions. There are technology gaps like online learning, change in learning modes, like equity or equality kind of thing. And moreover, than the basic in the kind of online learning, the ethnic changes or ethnic shift is possible. Like a guy who is sitting in US need to teach a student in European country or an African country. For example, if such situations, ethnic background also comes into the picture, and the kind of equality or equity kind of things will also surface. I'm not discussing about it, but they're only limited to the technology gaps. Certain technology gaps that are found in online teaching, and common lessons are using ICT and platforms to redefine nature and boundary of learning, build up ecosystems for effective learning. That's the one. Economic disruptions, lack of crucial resources, that is one thing. I mean, this will not stay for a long, and it will go. Social disruptions, like we have limitations, localized regulations, either in schools or colleges. We have certain regulations, and social support. By social support, we can overcome that. And political or disruptions, like during pandemic, political disruptions will be there, and we can build up. And cultural differences can also be overcome. Learning gaps and psychological barriers is an important learning disruption. This is the very vital component we need to address. Learning disruptions, learning gaps and psychological barriers during schooling or during education has to be addressed. Make paradigm shift in learning with ecosystem. So with that, I think I close my talk, and I invite, if you have any questions, please, you can ask me. Thank you. Thank you all to the organizers. Thank you very much.
ప్రియాంక మ్యామ్ ఒక్కసారి నా వెనకాల నుంచి రండి, ఒకసారి నా వెనకాల నుంచి ఇట్లా రండి. బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అయితే ఇప్పుడు అక్కడ ఉంటే ఏదైనా బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ పెట్టుకుంటే వాళ్ళు కనిపించారు కదా, గైడ్ కదా, ఏం బాగాలేదు ఆప్షన్. ఎవరు పెట్టుకోలేదు బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ కదా. B6 Once raise your hand.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any questions? You are welcome.
Hello, did you apply background effects? Can you remove that? Huh? Can you remove that?
No, you did not replace it far away.
దాని వల్ల డిస్టర్బెన్స్ వస్తుంది వీడియో.
Place it side here.
Yeah, no.